Welcome back to another Gaming Memories video. Here we are taking a look at International Superstar Soccer Pro, or otherwise known as ISS Pro. That was released back in the PlayStation back in 1997, and it was developed by Konami. At that point in time, football games were really starting to become a normal thing in terms of sports games being released on the system. They all offered their own unique experiences in what was available at the time. You had a lot more kind of arcade style type of games, but this one here was definitely one of the games that really started to step it up a notch in terms of simulation type of aspects. Yes, it did have an arcade feel, but it also felt a bit more realistic in terms of how you actually played the game. You felt like you had a lot more control of the players on the pitch and how you control the ball. A lot of other games, what would usually happen is you would get the ball, but you'd never be able to get within 20 feet or even try to dribble the ball around a player, and someone would get within 10 feet of you and the ball would be instantly taken off you. You couldn't really get the ball away from anyone, so it was quite difficult. This was one of the first games to allow the individual player to literally be able to have that full level of freedom. If you were good enough at the game, you could actually be able to be skillful enough to actually take the ball with one player and literally run the entire length of the pitch if you wanted to. This game had that ability to allow you to do that compared to other football games out there at the time, and it wasn't an easy thing to do. I do remember actually my very first experience with this game. I do remember, now I do love football, but I didn't play too many football games back in those days, especially on the PlayStation. This was actually, apart from Match with Soccer or maybe one or two others, this was one of the earlier games that I did actually get to play on the PlayStation. And I do remember actually, it was one of my friends, I think it was Derek actually, yeah, he rented the game out for a day. And he actually took it over to the house. I remember my folks were actually away, we were playing it on the big TV then in the house that we had at the time, in the living room. And we were playing a few games of this and trying to win. Now, to be honest, I couldn't get the hang of it at all, because I was used to playing other type of football games that were they were simpler in terms of how they actually played. You didn't really have to do too much, just kick the ball and hope for the best. But this game was very different because you had to control a lot more of what was going on. Now, that's not to say that when you get used to it, it's a fantastic game, which it is. And it's definitely one of the best football series of games ever. Like this and the FIFA series currently at the moment in modern consoles are the two best footballing series in video gaming, and have been for a long time. And this year now, it took me quite a while to figure out really what to do. I couldn't barely even get a shot on goal. I remember the first time playing it. I remember the first couple of games I actually played, I could not score a goal no matter what I did. I was just literally shooting from everywhere, hoping for the best, and it just didn't work out. And actually, I actually didn't. I actually never scored for all the games I played during that time. When I did get to play for the first attempt at it, pretty much I didn't even score a single goal at it. I wasn't great at it now, to be honest, at all. It wasn't until the later game that came out, the sequel to this was ISS Pro 98. They came out, I remember playing that in a demo, and that was a massive step up even in this here, because it was definitely easier to play, to get into in terms of even controlling. And I actually managed to pick that up very, very quickly, to a point that I actually got really, really good at it. Because even a lot of my mates, and one of my mates, Mark in particular, he still has never beat me in that game, even to this day. I kind of don't want to say anything too much, because if he ever sees this video, he'll be looking for a rematch, and he probably will beat me. No my luck. But yeah, I still hold that record against him. So yeah. It was a good laugh. Like, you know, these games really are so much fun. But you did have to be in a lot more control over what you were doing on the pitch. You definitely had to really think about your passes, where you want the players to move. It really allowed you to think about your overall play style and how you wanted to really kind of evolve with the game as you were playing. Very enjoyable. Now again, I only played ISS Pro only kind of the once. I was more the sequel 1998 that I played a lot more. I also played another version of ISS Pro, it was on the N64, and it was definitely more arcadey, but that was actually an awesome football game as well. That was a really good game too. But it was definitely more arcade. It didn't have as much simulation elements in it compared to the likes of these games. But for what they were, this was considered at that time when it was released, it was the best football game on the PlayStation at that point in 1997 when it was released. And quite rightly so, because it played very, very well. Like you said, once you got the hang of it, it was a really, really good game. Now the only thing is, as always is with most of the International Superstar Soccer Pro games, which is now gone on to be known as Pro Evo or Pro Evolution Soccer, or PES known for short, they never really had much in terms of the likes of fully licensed players or sponsors. They used to always just kind of have makeshift names. You'd have like the likes of the country names and so forth, but you didn't have the actual players. They always were just made up because they couldn't buy the licenses to it. But that didn't take away from the fact as how good these games actually were. These actually really were good, really good football games, sports games in general, were actually fantastic games. And the fact that they played so well back in those old consoles as well was definitely a testament to how good the PlayStation was and still is, even to this day. It really set the boundaries for how games are actually pretty much played, especially sports games today. And you can clearly see why when you're playing games like this. As you see the way even scoring goals, I remember even when I did get good at the likes of Pro Evo, even 98, not so much in this one, and you could score goals like that, and it was incredible, like, to be able to do that. But again, it took a while to master, but once you got the hang of it, it was a fantastic game. So even getting to revisit this one now after a long time, and then comparing it to likes of Pro 98, which definitely in my opinion is definitely a wee bit easier to play. This definitely takes a bit more getting used to, because it's not as fluid in terms of the playability and the movement. It's still a fantastic game, but it just wouldn't be as easily useful to play. It doesn't react the same way as the sequels actually have done. But again, with these type of games, they were pretty much the first of its kind to an extent, so they were relatively new in what they were doing. So again, what they offered at the time was still very unique, and it's still a fantastic game to play even today. So I highly recommend, if you haven't played any of the ISS Pro games on the PlayStation, definitely give them a go, because it's great to see kind of like the evolution of where the games originally started off with and see where they are, like say in today's standpoint. So I highly recommend that you do revisit a lot of these old classic games, because you won't be disappointed, because they're still very good games and they're still just as playable today as they've ever been. So I definitely highly recommend that you check out some of these old games on the system if you can.
Driven across, through pass. Keeping the ball under control. There won't be many. Great strike. Strikes. Trying to dig at the defence with the long ball. He'll bury that in the net. That's confident goalkeeping. That's the end of the half. But it's not a... We've seen some great football. Second half. Kick on. Picked the ball up well and looking for space. Past square. Passed off left. Ireland driven across. Worth a try. Both teams want the ball back. Morocco are setting the pace in this game. That's a direct pass. That was a smart pass into Spain. Making space for the shot, and it's off his... Well, the goalie had to save that. It's 3-0. It just won't break for them. Great possession play. Keeping the ball under control. There won't be many chances. Past square. The ball's gone into touch. The corner is forced. Kick coming up. There's a man loose in the box. That'll slow things down for a minute. Well, there was no corner awarded. It's a goal. Straight upfield. No messing with this. Passed off left. He'll bury that in the net. Good save by the keeper. There's always an element of danger in set-piece corners. Explosive goals are not... Well, he smothered that one. It's 3-0. Strong midfield play showing. It's gone deep into the box. Ten seconds to go. Better, you're playing. Ireland aren't afraid to take on defenders. Let's see some attacking football. Strong midfield play showing. It's 3-0. Good run by Ireland. Past square. Worth a try. It takes some stopping when the ball's delivered like. Where was the power in that? That's confident goalkeeping. Straight up, no messing. There was always a danger that would happen. Ireland takes the throw. A fine goal! He was born to score. Let's see the replay. Morocco, took it. He's taking around the defence by himself. Past square. Straight upfield. No messing with this. Passed off left. The ball's gone into touch. Well, there was no corner awarded. It's a goal. That's a searching ball. That's a direct pass. Picked the ball up well and looking for space. Straight upfield. No messing with this. He'll bury that in the net. Well, the goalie had to save. It's 4-0. Lovely twist and turn. That's a searching ball. Worth a try. The ball's free. Oh, how did he keep that one out? There's some strong players in the box. Both teams will want to get possession of... There's only 1 full minute of normal time to go. After that, it's down to the referee. Good long ball play. That's a direct pass. Driven across, picked up, making space for the shot, and he'll bury that in the net. Keeping the ball under control. There won't be many chances in this. Past square. Passed off left. Oh, off his right. That almost went in from the angle. It's 4-0. It's nail-biting stuff on that pitch. 30 seconds of normal time. Straight upfield. No messing with this. He might make something of this.
So what are your thoughts of ISS Pro or International Superstar Soccer Pro on the PlayStation? Did you own it back in the day? Were you a fan of the game? And if so, did you enjoy it? Make sure to share your thoughts down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you actually played this game and what you actually thought of it. So if you have liked this video, make sure to leave a like. Also subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to be updated whenever I release future videos, as I am going to be re-exploring a lot of these old classic games and even exploring other games that I never got to play back in the day on the PlayStation, and sharing my views and memories with all of you. And it does also help me greatly to increase engagement and help me with creating videos and increase engagement, etc. So as always, keep playing those classic games and enjoying them, and make sure to keep those gaming memories alive.
Don't forget, the best football available is always waiting for you here. So, turn on, tune in, and drop